Want an easy way to see if you could save money on car insurance? Geico gives you 3. Call 1-800-947-AUTO. Go online to geico.com or stop by the Geico office nearest you. 3 ways you could save 15% or more.
Time to wake and take with Stugats. 7, 8, 6, 4, 5, 6, 4, 8, 3, 7. That's 7, 8, 6, 4, 5, 6, 4, 8, 3, 7.
So less annoying. Phone lines are popping, man. They're all lit up. Sarah Spain's and
Time to wake and take with Stugats. 7, 8, 6, 4, 5, 6, 4, 8, 3, 7. That's 7, 8, 6. Time to wake and take with Stugats. 7, 8, 6, 4, 5, 6, 4, 8, 3, 7. That's 7, 8, 6, 4, 5, 6, 4, 8, 3, 7. That's 7, 8, 6, 4, 5, 6, 4,
So less annoying. Phone lines are popping, man. They're all lit up. Sarah Spain's in with us today for the entire show. Good morning, Sarah.
7, 8, 6, 4, 5, 6, 4, 8, 3, 7. That's 7, 8, 7, 8, 6, 4, 5, 6, 4, 8, 3, 7. That's 7, 8, 6, 4, 5, 6, 4, 8, 3, 7.
So less annoying. Phone lines are popping, man.
7, 8, 6, 4, 5, 6, 4, 8, 3, 7. That's 7, 8, 6, 4, 5, 6, 4, 8, 3, 7. That's 7, 8, 6, 4, 5, 6, 4, 8, 3, 7.
So less annoying. Phone lines are popping, man. They're all lit up. Sarah Spain's in with us today for the entire show. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning.
Very surprised you showed up.
That's 7, 8, 6, 4, 5, 6, 4, 8, 3, 7.
So less annoying. Phone lines are popping, man. They're all lit up. Sarah Spain's in with us today for the entire show. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning.
Very surprised you showed up for the local hour. I mean, I'm grateful that you did. I'm also surprised that you did.
Well, unlike Pablo, I'm not too good for the show that helped make me.
Right. And Pablo's the only one who really doesn't. I don't think we. I appreciate you saying that. I think you made yourself.
Well, I think you like to say that as they continue to take the jobs that you wish you had.
It's a device that I use.
Right.
Just to point out that I'm not getting the opportunities that people who come in as guest co-hosts of the show are getting.
Right. By the way, I look forward to doing that fantasy football marathon with Michael.
Are you doing it?
Uh-huh. You've been replaced.
Enjoy.
I know it's going to be terrible, actually. It's going to be really funny until the day after when I can't get out of bed.
That is one thing I will tell you. I no longer have a desire to do.
Right, you're okay with me stealing
passing the baton on to you is fine. Yeah, yes. Tell me how you feel after about 18 hours.
Yeah.
Bad, man. So when are you doing that? That's funny.
August, I think, 14th and 15th.
Oh, fell right in my vacation. Thank God.
Otherwise, they definitely would have asked you.
Oh, I don't know if they would. They asked me last year. I said no, and I think, was it Clinton Yates?
No, Reese Waters.
Oh, Reese Waters did it with, did it with Mike Golick Jr. I didn't want to do it again.
It's just a one-time deal. Mike Golick Jr. is the only one, I guess, young enough to do it more than once.
Yeah.
Everyone else's body is only capable of doing that one.
Right.
I hope Gojo does that Christmas morning thing that he did last year, because I had it on my television while everyone was opening presents.
What did he do?
On ESPNU for an hour, it was just him eating cookies and drinking milk.
Really?
Nothing else. People would bring him cookies. He would sit in front of a camera and just eat cookies and drink milk.
I don't know if that's on the docket for this time around, but I guess I'll find out.
Well, that was Christmas morning, you're saying?
Christmas morning.
All right, so
him not speaking, just eating for a straight hour.
Now, was this part of the marathon, or this was just
was a
ESPNU programming?
Yeah,
ESPNU programming.
That's so random.
And great. That thing took years off of my life. Fantasy Island. I was up for 48 consecutive hours. I had a fight with Batard about something. I forget what it was. Oh, he claimed I wasn't trying at Fantasy Island. Remember that one, Mike?
This was before or after you tried to disrobe Michelle Beadle?
It was...
That was during the marathon.
Right. So the fight was before or after?
For some reason, Dan thought I was anchoring their entire coverage. I was going to be Trey Wingo. Gotta get that out of my throat.
Yeah.
You coughed, a little cough.
And so he was saying that I wasn't very prepared if I was going to have the role of Trey Wingo. And I said, have you watched a second of what we're doing?
There's no preparation necessary.
I'm not anchoring anything. I'm just sitting in a room with Mike Golick waiting for Trey Wingo to throw it to me so I can act like an idiot. How am I supposed to prepare for that? I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I look forward. I think I'm qualified. I'm ready.
No one's more prepared for that than I am. That's going to be fun for you. Sarah is mocking Mike. She should. I'll get to that in a second. Allison sent me a very funny text yesterday. Mike, what were you saying to Allison before the show? Are we not certain that Allison likes Wake and Take?
We're not certain if Allison likes our normal radio show.
Well, we know she doesn't.
Why would she like a show that's only you?
I know, and that's why I'm impressed that you came in.
Nightmare.
It's not the local hour. It's the fact that you came in when Dan wasn't here, and that is, I'm grateful for that. Amin did it. Pablo would not. You did. I was surprised that you did. I thought you were going to come in at 10. Not because I don't think that, you're not a hard worker, you don't want to do this with me, but you have HQ after this. You've been doing it all week, and that's a long day for you.
It is a long day.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, Pablo doesn't feel like he can use you as a stepping stone, so he just bypasses
He's already made it.
any time that he'd have to spend with you. But with Dan,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, with Dan.
serious butt kissing to be done.
You think? I see what happens when everyone comes down here.
By the
Sarah,
way,
Sarah was nice. She sent out a group text last week. Anyone want to have dinner on Wednesday night? I don't have Izzy in Spain, and I think Mike responded. You're having dinner with Sarah tonight?
No, he
can't.
ditched me.
I bailed.
Okay.
You never responded to the group text.
Well, because why respond? Because my response would have been, "Hey, I'll let you know." I'd have to stay down there on Wednesday night. You realize this place is like an hour and a half from my house.
I didn't actually expect you to respond. I have your phone number along with Mike's and Dan's, so I put all three of you on there,
Right.
knowing full well you would say, "Oh, I live like 8 hours away.
Right,
I have
well-
so many important things to do."
Yes. I'm not good at saying no, but I'm good at just kind of prolonging the no.
Well, I noticed like when Dominique or Pablo come in town, Mike Ryan comes in the morning with stories about how they all hung out.
Yeah.
And yet I've never been invited to hang out with anyone, so I take that as a personal affront.
All right.
I don't hang out with Pablo every time he comes down here. In fact,
No, we hung out with Pablo once.
one time.
Draft night.
One time.
Yeah.
Is that the night when you ate all the stuff?
Yeah, we ate all the stuff. Yes.
No, just you, not we.
Yeah,
you.
well, we and then me. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
we. It started as we, and then it was just me roaming the streets of South Beach, buying anything I could.
Dominique is fair. I've gone out with him twice in the 6 times he's come down here.
I've had
So
lunch
if I
with
was,
Dominique.
a former professional athlete, you would want to hit the town.
Not necessarily. I watched a playoff game once with Amin, but Amin's been down here several times over the course of 2 years, and I've only hung out with him in Miami once.
Right.
All right, I feel better now. I also usually only come in like right before, and then I go to sleep, and I wake up and I do the show, and then I fly.
There was that time that Mina came to my house. I
Oh,
invited her
yeah,
over
that's
for-
right. She did come over for dinner.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's
I
right.
invited her over for dinner. We
Right.
watched The Bachelorette together.
Nice. I had lunch with Mina. I've had lunch with Pablo. Have you and I had lunch?
No,
I'm sorry.
fine.
I was going to do it. In fact, I tried to get it moved to Tuesday. I couldn't make yesterday work, but I got tickets to PSG Juventus last second, and I want to go to that
Nice.
over going to dinner with Sarah. Sorry.
Of course, I don't blame you.
So is anyone having dinner with Sarah tonight?
Dan, I
Dan.
believe.
Oh, Dan is. So you and Dan having dinner tonight?
Yeah.
Good job. So
I wrangled one of you into hanging out with me.
I don't want to put Mike in a bad spot, but it seems like Mike was in, and then Dan was in, and then Mike got out.
Right.
I don't want to put anybody in a bad spot, but it seemed as though if I didn't get back to Sarah, nobody would have gotten back to Sarah.
Sarah, I'm sorry. I mean, I live 90 minutes from this place. That's all.
I knew that was coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You got, so much going on with the kids.
I would
So
love
there's
for
a
you to come-
lacrosse tournament tonight and a
we
bar mitzvah.
We have nothing. The kids are at sleepaway camp. I have nothing going on tonight. Actually, I'd love for you, and I will extend an invitation for you to come up to Parkland.
Oh, that
and
sounds
you can,
wonderful.
You can chill at the house for a little bit. Mike was just there. The drive's not too long.
An hour-long drive from where I live. That's another thing. Our
An
co-host-
hour-long drive from where you live, and then you waited at my gate for
25
about
minutes.
Did
because
you hang out with that homeless guy with the loaf of bread?
No, but there were a bunch of construction trucks in front and behind Mike, and they were all in line because they're all doing work on my house.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, extension.
Oh, boy.
I will say that all the co-hosts, they fly into Miami, and I think all they know about Miami is the airport, where the arenas are,
Right.
and South Beach. And South Florida is massive.
Well, you can tell that's what happened because I had to do something in Orlando, and I offered to drive from here to Orlando after I did the show on Friday because I had to be in Orlando on Saturday. And then I realized that I had mistaken the time that I drove from here to Tampa. Very different drive.
Wow.
Well, Tampa's even longer
Yeah,
than
longer.
driving to Orlando.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And where was I?
Like
I
four-
was
yeah.
I was going Tampa to Orlando before.
Oh, that's 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, oh, I remember it wasn't too bad. And then I got in the car and I was like, I just put the GPS. I was like, oh, what have I done?
Yeah, why'd you volunteer? Did you end up doing it, or did you
Yeah,
bail?
and by the way, Miami to Orlando is the worst drive ever.
Oh, the
nothing.
worst.
There's nothing,
No.
and then there's like, it'll be like, you have 48 miles till the next gas station. And I'm like, what?
There's a worse drive, I think. What's the worst drive? Is it going up to Orlando on 95, or is it going across the alley? Because I think it's across the alley. It's shorter across the alley, but it's a worse drive. You
Yeah.
could fall asleep going across the alley. man.
Alley's the worst. There's a scenic route to get to Tampa where there's just farms everywhere. That's pretty brutal. I've driven from Miami to Gulf Shores, Alabama,
Right.
up the state and through the Panhandle, through the time zone.
But up the west side of the state, you're saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the way to the tippy top and then head west. There's nothing in this state.
Well, and the beginning of, if you head west from Chicago to like LA, when I used to drive to live there, or Vegas or anywhere, the first like 4 hours are the worst. You just got Iowa and other places like Iowa.
but then you have
I'm not great with
Other
geography,
places
as
like
we've
Iowa.
established. I'm like, wait, and then it's
Nebraska.
Minnesota. Wait,
South
wait.
Dakota. Is there a South Dakota?
No. You start to
Wyoming.
cut over, yeah.
Wyoming.
And then you go through Colorado to give yourself something to look at, and then you cut down.
What are we doing here? Allison texted me yesterday. She was at the gym. I think Allison is doing 90-minute workouts every day for 90 days.
I was about to challenge
Wow.
her to a weekly Fitbit competition, thinking that I had it in the bag, and then I asked her how many steps does she perform in a day.
Right.
Tells me she performs 15,000 steps a
Whoa.
day.
It's amazing.
That's intense.
Aggressive.
It is. So anyway, she texted me yesterday from the gym. I told the story once that I was in a gym with Ken Jeong, and he was on an elliptical machine, and I went on the treadmill right next to him, not because I wanted to work out,
Of course not.
because I was hoping that I would spark up some sort of conversation. But I didn't want to do it while he was on the elliptical. He had his headsets on, and he was in a groove, and I couldn't keep up on the treadmill. I was basically waiting for him to finish, and I would finish at the same time and then strike up the conversation there, but he just kept going and going and going, and I couldn't do it. So Allison yesterday was 5 treadmills down from Paul O'Neill.
He seems like he's your type.
Right.
That's funny.
So
But
she,
I know Paul O'Neill is Allison's type.
Right.
And she just mouthed over here, he's hot.
He is hot. Put it on the poll. Is Paul O'Neill hot? I think he's hot. Is Paul O'Neill hot? He's a hottie.
Yeah.
All right, put that on the poll, Bill.
Does Paul O'Neill still look like your best friend's dad when you were growing up? Because he always looked like that guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Always looked like your best friend's dad that you were kind of afraid of.
Yes, he does.
He still looks.
I was never attracted to any of my friends' dads.
I wasn't attracted to any of my friends'
Well,
dads either.
we're
I
saying
was
that he's
afraid of them.
attractive, and then simultaneously following up with looks like your best friend's dad.
I said Allison finds him attractive.
Were you attracted to any of your friends' moms?
One.
I have one, too. Yeah.
I was attracted to one dad that I babysat for his kid.
Really?
That opens up a can of worms.
Nothing.
Want to finish that story?
That was it.
That was
I just
it?
thought he was like a hot dad.
Okay.
Cool.
When they would come home, I'd be like, no, it was easy.
Little flirty Sarah.
Yeah.
Flirty
Yeah,
Sarah.
when I was like 12.
So Allison was 5 treadmills down, and all the treadmills were open, and she's asking me, who's the guy you did this to? Should I go up to him and work on the treadmill right next to him and be creepy? And I said, absolutely, and the guy I did it to was Ken Jeong.
Nice.
So, Allison, what did you do there? Did you end up working out next to Paul O'Neill?
Well, that's the most annoying thing, because that happened to me a couple weeks ago. There was a bunch of empty treadmills, and a guy got on the one next to me, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
so annoying.
He's
Right.
an awful person, so I would never do that.
Is that more annoying than when you're in the men's room and there are like 15 urinals and you're at one and the other 14 are open and the guy comes right next to you? That's pretty annoying.
I think they're both terrible. If someone does that to me, then I just consider them a challenge, and I think they're racing me. Not at the urinal, on the treadmill.
I got you.
Yeah, you followed?
Yes. So, Allison, what happened with Paul O'Neill? Was there any sort of conversation,
he's
sparks,
really
something?
ripped.
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely ripped. No, nothing. I mean, I was messing with you. I wouldn't seriously go on the treadmill.
Was he
next to
checking you
him.
out at all? No?
No, that's
Did you exchange like a glance or two?
no, that's
No?
weird.
Did you ask him to spot you?
No. I wasn't Stugatz. Like, I knew Stugatz would be like, hey, you want to come on the show? Like, what are you doing? And that's why I was saying it to you. Because that would be your move.
Okay. If it was someone more famous, you would have done that for the show.
Of course,
We don't
yeah.
care about Paul O'Neill.
I don't think I could do that at a gym, being like, hey, I work for Dan Levitard. Can you come on the show? That's super awkward.
I mean, if it was George Clooney instead of Ken Jeong on that elliptical machine, I would have stayed on that treadmill all day. Just for the relationship and possibly getting him on the show. It is Wake and Take on 790 The Ticket. What do you think, Mike? Some phone calls?
Yeah, we never do that this hour. Go ahead.
Yeah, some people, they want to ask Sarah some questions.
Great.
Exciting. Let's go out to Vincent. Vincent, go ahead. Vince.
Hey, long listener. first-time caller.
What's up?
Big question here. This one's for Stu, but I'm curious about Sarah's answer and the shipping container as well.
Okay.
After the big Sunday at the Gotts household, Sunday night, you're playing wicked game, you get down to business. Afterwards, are you, Stu Gotts, are you a big cuddler?
Yeah, big night usually starts at 9, ends at 9:05, and at 9:06, I love to cuddle. And 9:05, that's a big night. I love
cuddle.
I love to cuddle. I do. It's going to be shocking to many, but I do. I like to cuddle.
I picture like 9:06. You're like, oh, I just got an idea for weekend update, which I haven't started yet.
That happens occasionally.
Weekend observation.
That happens occasionally as well. But I do. I enjoy cuddling, and it doesn't have to be after sex. I just enjoy cuddling. I love my wife, and I like cuddling with her.
I like cuddling not after sex.
You like cuddling not after sex?
Yeah, I like cuddling separately, and then after sex, I don't like cuddling.
Why not after sex?
Just
get on with your night.
No, not get on with it. I don't leave the bed. I just prefer to lay around near each other, but not on top of each other.
All right, but on a night where you're not having sex, you would love to cuddle as you're falling asleep. Is that what
No. I can't fall asleep with cuddling.
You can't?
No.
If you're on the couch watching a TV show, cuddling?
Yeah.
Okay. Not surprising. Fat Chris, you like to cuddle?
I actually cuddle in the same way Sarah does, not after sex.
Really?
Don't love doing it. I like it short bursts.
All right, Guillermo, cuddling?
I like to cuddle.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Roy, you cuddler?
Yeah, good cuddler.
Yeah, wow, that's surprising, Roy.
It's mainly for warmth.
It is cold bed, yeah.
Mike? I think Mike's a cuddler.
Not really.
Really?
Not really.
Even with that beard?
Shocking.
My
That
wife
beard
hates the
looks
beard.
made for cuddling.
I love
wife
the beard.
hates the beard.
Well, because it scratches her face.
She just doesn't like the way that it looks. It's a lot softer now. I try to take care of it. Put lots of beard oil, beard butter.
Right.
She doesn't dig it.
This might sound weird, but I think people with dogs might agree with me. Once we got dogs, I didn't need to cuddle my husband as much because
the dog.
because some of it is just you like the touch of just snuggling a warm body, and dogs you can accomplish things while they're laying on your lap or snuggling. So I don't need to cuddle my husband as often because the dogs.
You're onto something there.
Yeah.
I'm probably more of a cuddler than my wife is, but when it comes to sleepy time, I cuddle up right next to the dog.
Right.
She doesn't like even cuddling with a dog at night. When she's awake, she loves.
No, I use my smaller dog as essentially a stuffed animal. I move him into exactly whatever position I want, and then midway through the night, I'm like, "Oh, I'm so hot. Why are you on me? Move."
Does your dog think is your dog a he or a she?
We have two he's in the bed with us, and we currently have a she foster as well.
My dog thinks that bed is his bed.
Oh, yeah. I mean obviously.
Yes.
Literally, my one dog snuggles so hard against you that you just gradually get further and further toward the edge of the bed.
Right.
And then if you try to move him, he makes sounds like you're ruining his life.
Can your dog sense when my dog senses this and then starts getting in between us because he wants a snack? Can your dog sense sex?
Okay, first of all,
my dog senses sex.
First
he
of all,
knows sex is coming,
okay, but,
and he smells it somehow, and then he gets in between me and my wife, and he wants a snack before we do what we have to do.
What is he snacking on?
Oh, we just give him a treat or something.
Did anyone else think that sounded really gross? That the dog knew sex was coming and wanted a snack? Of what?
He just wants one of his treats. That's all. And I give him a treat, and then he goes off into the corner and eats it.
Because he knows that you're going to give him a treat when you want him to go away?
Yes.
Oh, okay. No,
somehow he senses that we're about to do something which requires him to go away.
We have to throw a treat down the hall and shut the door really fast. And then while they're outside, they just literally press their faces against the door and cry.
Okay.
It's very romantic.
We have a great Stephen A. We have great Stephen A. Smith sound coming up next, and we'll talk concussions. Hi, everyone. Stu Gotts here. Support for the Dan Le Batard Show podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Chances are you are confident when it comes to your work, your hobbies, and your life. Rocket Mortgage gives you the same level of confidence when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. Rocket Mortgage is simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident you are getting the right mortgage for you. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/StuGotts. That's rocketmortgage.com/Stugotz, STUGOTZ, equal housing lender, licensed in all 50 states, NMLS consumeraccess.org number 30-30.
And now, back to Wake and Take with Stugats. Stugats. 786 456 Stugats. 4837 Stugats. That's 786 Stugats. 456 Stugats. 4837 Stugats. Call now. Stugats. 786 Stugats. 456 Stugats. 4837 Stugats. That's 786 Stugats. 456 Stugats. 4837 786 456 4837 Stugats.
Can't reach me there. You can text the show on the Coral Springs Automall Nissan text line at 67974. Sarah Spain in studio with us today. She'll be here the entire show. She's been doing HQ all week. You'll be doing it all week, correct?
Yep.
You enjoying it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's totally different. I tried to Around the Hornet on the first day, and they were like, whoa.
Really?
You don't have to say everything you think within 30 seconds, knowing it's not going to come back around to you. You can just, talk and then interact. I was like, oh, okay, sorry.
Around the Hornet. That's funny.
It's hard. You get used to, okay, I got 30 seconds. Go.
Right. And you got a lot to say.
Yeah.
Small windows are tough for you.
Don't I know it? Well, yesterday I did Around the Horn and HQ, and I was like, oh, I have to come up with new bits.
Right.
Not if I was you, of course. I would just say the same thing on every show.
Yes, of course.
As if it was original.
So wait, you did HQ yesterday, then you did Around the Horn, then you did your radio show.
And I did an NPR commentary in the middle. And then I did my radio show till 11. And then I can't fall asleep till 2 in the morning because, you've just done all this 2 hours of animated stuff. And then.
Sure. And today it's this show, the HQ. Anything else after that? I mean, you are a big star, rising star at ESPN.
God, it's so hard being so in demand.
I'm sure. You're welcome.
Today, just hanging out with you guys all day.
All right, cool.
Yeah. And then presumably dinner with Dan, unless he also ditches me.
No, Dan will not ditch you. Dan will not bail on dinner. I just won't respond. Mike will bail on you. Mike will bail on you once Dan commits.
Some sort of tickets or music festival, of course, yeah.
Stephen A. Smith, first off, before we get to the Sam, what are your thoughts on all this stuff going on with Kyrie and LeBron? I
mean, I think it's terrible for Cleveland and amazing for us. It keeps us busy during July.
It's great.
I think absolutely that LeBron at some point said he would beat Kyrie's ass and just, clearly didn't want it to go public. But the same way that you and Mike could be sitting around watching something and see something cross the wire and say, oh, I would, Batard talking smack about me on SportsCenter and I'll beat his ass. I don't think it's an unfixable situation.
Okay.
Do you?
I think it's a fixable situation. Yeah, I do.
If they decide not to trade him, I think they both figure out how to make it work. It might be awkward and terrible for a year.
Even if they don't figure out how to make it work off the court, they're still great on the court, and they'll still get to the NBA Finals. I mean, they'll lose to Golden State, but they'll still get there, right? Because the East is weak and they're so talented.
Right.
And the Cavs don't have to trade anyone. I mean, LeBron's not going to be traded, and they don't have to trade Kyrie if they don't want to.
I do like your plan of trading Kyrie to the Lakers and
funny,
then just
right?
being like, all right, LeBron,
your
move.
That's the way that's the way I would go about it because I'm petty.
Right, of course.
Yes.
I would love to see you run a team. Your team would be so terrible.
Oh, so terrible. I mean, big names, well past their prime.
Yeah.
It would just be awful.
Big names and then just petty moves.
Right. But
you would sue a bunch of fans. You actually would probably be Jeffrey Luria.
I would be.
As much as you hate him, I think that's probably best representation of you as an owner.
I'd bilk an entire city's for a new stadium, make them pay the taxes on it, sell my team, a couple of years later for north of $1 billion, and sue fans on the way out.
Yeah,
Yep.
the concessions would be filled with edibles, which would be cool.
Stew pots.
Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, Stephen A. Smith, he reported, I think it was 2 days ago, that LeBron James, if Kyrie Irving was in LeBron's presence, that LeBron would be tempted to drop him, to fight him. And LeBron James on Twitter yesterday was responding to a Slam magazine article which referenced Stephen A. Smith's report, saying that's not the case, it's fake news. And Stephen A. Smith wasn't having it. So he came back with this yesterday at LeBron James.
LeBron James, you in Dallas, stinking up the joint during the NBA Finals. You openly admitted you stunk up the joint. And how that was a growing experience for you. And how that enabled you to ultimately become a champion. But because I had the temerity, the unmitigated gall, to point out something you did in front of 50 million people, you all caught up in your feelings. And this is the same LeBron James that wants us to believe that his feelings really are of no consequence with this whole Kyrie Irving situation. Stephen A. points out what you did in front of 50 to 100 million people by stinking up the joint in your NBA Finals series against Dallas. You ain't get over that. But Kyrie Irving saying he don't want to play with the Cavaliers anymore. And this narrative about you not being happy about that suddenly is fake news. This is after people close to you, who you sign on to speak on your behalf, reach out to yours truly. And now it's fake news. Really, LeBron? Really?
I mean, he attacked Stephen A's credibility, man. And Stephen A came back at him. I love Stephen A.
You don't want to make an enemy of me. I promised you that.
Ladies and gentlemen, LeBron James sent out a tweet about me responding to Slam Magazine, talking about not facts, people. Boo, get another source. He's talking about me. He's talking about what I reported. And what I reported was that if LeBron James was in front of Kyrie Irving, I was told, quote, he would be tempted to whoop his. But that's a quote. That's what was told to me. I did not speculate. I did not put that out there. It was told to me, verbatim, in that manner, tempted. See, my name's not some of the people that LeBron James sits down and interviews with. I understand he don't want to sit down with me. Fine. I could care less. But let's be clear. LeBron James likes comfort. And let's just say I don't make him too comfortable.
Oh, my God. He's like a TV villain.
Hold on. I need more, and we have more.
You know, I'm going to say something here. I'm going to openly confess to you that what I'm about to say, it's personal. I want everybody to know that I have the greatest respect in the world for LeBron James.
But
not just because he's a champion, not just because he's been to 7 consecutive NBA Finals, and so on and so forth. But nobody's perfect. And sometimes LeBron James gets on my last nerves. And within the last couple of hours, he most certainly has. And I'll be the first to say to you, you better understand something. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not just applicable to me. It's applicable to the great Adrian Wojnarowski, Mark Stein. What I'm about to say is applicable to all of them. We never report everything we know. Contrary to what some of you out there would believe, we do exercise decorum and professionalism, and we do make a concerted effort to try to quell whatever biases may exist inside of us as human beings. But I got to tell y'all, there are some moments when a professional athlete literally tempts you to go nuclear on them.
Oh, no.
Please.
And I stand here before you today, right in that zone when it comes to LeBron James.
He is amazing.
Ready for liftoff.
I mean, he is the best.
Wait, do we have more?
I think that's
I feel like there's a part I think we talked about on our show last night where he actually specifically mentioned, don't make me bring up what happened in Florida in like 2002.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he doesn't say it.
No.
But we're like, yeah, do it.
Oh, no.
We want to know what happened then.
I want the reporter who reports everything. Who is that guy? Where is that person? Stephen A is amazing.
God, his
man.
delivery is so good.
He's the best to ever do it. I'm not joking.
I got to find that clip. We played it on Izzy in Spain last night where he actually dangles out a little tease of something that he would never tell. And we were like, yeah, no, do it. Tell us. What is it?
All right, the guys found the clip. You'll hear it next, plus your phone calls.
Okay, keep your eyes closed.
Okay.
I want to show you my first ever painting.
All right.
Okay. Open your eyes.
Oh, that's a lot of colors and shapes.
So be honest. What do you think?
Well, I like how if you switch to Geico, you could save hundreds of dollars on car insurance.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Here, why don't I hold your paintbrush while you call them?
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
And now, back to Wake and Take with Stugats. Stugats. 786 Stugats. 456 Stugats. 4837 Stugats. That's 786 Stugats. Stugats. 456 Stugats. 4837 Stugats. Call now. Stugats. Stugats. 786 Stugats. 456 Stugats. 4837 Stugats. That's 786 Stugats. Stugats. 456 Stugats. 4837. 786 456 4837. Stugats.
Sarah Spain will be with us the entire show except for this segment. She left her laptop at the hotel. But we got a ton of phone calls at 786-456-4837. It is Wake and Take here on 790 The Ticket. So, Mike, you guys found the Stephen A. sound that Sarah was talking about?
We did. I'm not sure it's what Sarah was talking about because she said something about Florida in 2002. This is different. This talks about, and I'm pretty sure we all know what Stephen A. is talking about in this clip. This talks about the Boston Cavs series. And it's, like I said, it's pretty obvious what he's discussing if you're familiar with any sort of NBA rumor mill.
Okay.
Was I wrong when I broke the story that he was going to South Beach? Was I wrong when I talked about how I'm hearing he's going back to Cleveland? I just refuse to believe it because who the hell would want to leave South Beach? But I am hearing he's going back to Cleveland. What if I got into the real story about what happened with LeBron James against Boston the year before or that spring when he finally decided to leave Cleveland and take his talents to South Beach? But we don't want to get into that.
I do.
I mean, you know what he's talking about.
Yes. Is there an amount of money you would pay for Stephen A. Smith to talk about that? Because there is an amount for me. About what happened in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics. I would want that, and I would want Florida stories from 2002. I would pay top dollar. If Stephen A. was just on stage, sitting in a chair with a microphone and telling stories, stuff that he's heard that he's never reported, I would pay top dollar for that.
You're talking something like a one-man show.
Yes.
Because Al Pacino's playing the Fillmore here in September.
He is?
Yeah.
Really?
It's just him answering questions from a moderator. Someone's asking him questions, and you just go to a theater to listen to Al Pacino tell you stories. I would pay a sum of money to watch Stephen A. do a one-man show.
Okay. Are you going to the Al Pacino show? Are you interested in that?
I'm not interested in that.
I'm kind of interested in that. People are starting to do that. I think Mike Tyson started this. Bruce Springsteen is doing something on Broadway where he sings, he talks to the audience, he takes questions from the audience. It's highly interactive, so he's doing a gig. Billy Joel does it at Madison Square Garden. I'd be into Pacino. I'd certainly pay. Mike, do you have an idea? Like, how much would you pay for a ticket to a Stephen A. Smith show?
$20, I'm down.
Right. Bill, put that on the poll. If Stephen A. Smith did a show, it's a bit wordy here. You can figure out how to make it less wordy. If Stephen A. did a show where he revealed all his unreported information, would you pay money for it? Fat Chris, would you pay money for that show?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, how much? Like, if I set the ticket price at $100, would you pay it?
I think so.
All right. Guillermo, would you pay for that show?
Not $100, no chance.
No, what's the price? Where's the breaking point for Guillermo?
I mean, like $20 maybe, but it'll be online like in 10 minutes for free, so I don't have to get up, I don't have to get dressed, I don't have to drive.
Oh, no, they're confiscating your cell phones.
Yeah.
Someone will tell me about it.
Okay. So you wouldn't go?
Not for $100.
I don't even think you go for 20, to be honest with you.
Where is it?
Right down the street from your house.
What do I have to wear? Like dress code? This is a big like
hip and trendy.
Hip and trendy. Yeah, you gotta get dressed up a little bit. Roy, you in on this?
I'll get off StubHub, yeah.
Yeah, off StubHub, like $30, something like that. All right. Mike, you in, right?
Not to hear the unreported stories. I would pay a sum of money just for a one-man show, not knowing what it is.
Okay.
Okay.